100% of the shots you don't take.
Wait, why am I white? No.
Hello? My gosh, look at my stream actually staying up. What a day. What a day. My goodness, I'm so excited to have Wi-Fi. Not even Wi-Fi, I have internet. That's just exciting. Nice. Finally here. What's up, everybody? What's up, Anthony? Yes, Monday was a freak day. I do know why it happened, though. So that's at least a step in the right direction. There's a lot of things that happened that just were not what we wanted at all. Sorry, I'm trying to log into EA so I can make sure I don't have any updates. Okay. There we go. That was weird. Nice. Don't have an update. That's good. Good news, good news. It's just all very exciting. Always. Yeah, it's getting long, especially my beard. This is, I think, the longest I've had it since we've had Shiloh, because she would grab it so much. So it friggin' hurt. It's like nice and fluffy right now. Let's see if I have any updates for Epic. I need to trim this piece right here. This is annoying. Wowzers. But now she's learned and she doesn't pull it like she used to. That is true. She does still pull it, but not quite as aggressively as she used to. It used to be so bad. It was awful for a bit. Like, awful, awful. Thank you, Manny. I appreciate the 5. It's been a while since I've been here. I'm going to stay true to my word, and I'm going to wait till about 10:20 to actually talk to everybody about what happened. So, it's going to be a little bit. Give some people time to get in here before we do anything. Text Christian and see if he's still getting on. So, I mean, my beard is just as painful. Like, she was yanking on the stuff, like, down here by my neck. It sucked. So, we'll do story time at 10:20 of how I almost died. But I can at least tell you what's going on with my Wi-Fi. So, we got, we switched from, we had Spectrum, and we switched to Verizon. Now, we switched to Verizon for 2 reasons. Number one, we have Verizon for our phones, and I've always liked Verizon. I've known them for a long time with my parents having them. And then also the price of it was like $30 cheaper a month to switch. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's a 3-year price lock guarantee, and Spectrum was incrementally going up, so we were getting more and more frustrated with it because it was just getting more and more expensive. And so we switched. And it was working pretty good for a while. Like, I was streaming okay. It wasn't really having any issues, nothing. Every so often, the stream would, like, hiccup. I'd have to restart it. You guys have been here for that kind of stuff. So, one of the things with the Verizon is it's a 5G Wi-Fi. It's not like a line. So, it's just a box that connects to their 5G tower. Then it gives our house Wi-Fi is the way that it works. So it's essentially just a hotspot, but it's a really strong hotspot. Like, it's enough to actually sustain a whole house instead of doing it off of, like, your phone when you activate your hotspot. So I'd been having some issues. I still think my system's faulty, like the actual modem that I got's faulty, because every so often, so I guess the other part that you need to know, because it's 5G, the weather does affect it. So, like, if it's storming, I'm going to have slower Wi-Fi. Just like your phone doesn't work as well when it's storming. It's just a normal thing, which is fine. Not really that worried about it. But the thing that was happening was it was dropping, and there'd be nothing going on. Like, there was no storms, there was no wind. It'd be like a perfect day, like 85, sunny, no clouds, like nothing. And it just stopped working, like the middle of the day or late at night when I'm playing. So I'm like, these are 2 times where, like, it's not really, like, heavy 5G usage in our area. Like, people are at work, people are asleep, and it's just cutting out randomly. So that's what was going on at first. Then, like, 3 days ago, I guess now, it was Sunday night. I was playing games, and I wasn't streaming. I was playing, and all of a sudden, my internet just went, like down quick. To the point where I was getting, like, 999 ping, like, just these absurd things. Like, I literally couldn't play anymore. People could barely hear me in Discord. Like, that was it. It was nuts. So, I'm going through everything. I'm like, that's weird. Like, maybe tomorrow morning's going to be better. Like, whatever. So, Lindsay tells me the internet's not working all day. Going through, go to try streaming at night. Obviously, what happened where I was, like, dropping frames immediately. I am going more into it. It's just, like, garbage, like hot garbage. I eventually get to the point where I call Verizon yesterday. And the guy basically told me, it looks like there's a problem with the 5G tower in your area. I'm like, okay. He's like, we're going to have to send like a technician out to try and fix it, or they might be able to fix it remotely, just depending on like what the issue is. I'm like, all right, fine. So I was told I would get an update. I didn't get an update. I ended up calling back today. The guy was like, so what we're finding is there's actually a mass ticket created because there's so many people in your area all experiencing the same thing. So he's like, it's not just you. Like, now this is the problem that's been happening over the last 2 days. So I was like, okay. Just like, so what happens? And he was like, we just have to wait and see if they fix it. I'm like, all right. So then today, Lindsay goes to go work at Starbucks, and then right as she leaves, the Wi-Fi kicks back on. Obviously. Naturally. That's when it happens. But I tell her to still go to Starbucks because I'm like, I would hate for you to turn around and get home, and then the Wi-Fi stops working and you can't work because she hasn't been able to work at all. What's up, Mew? Sorry, I'm in the middle of talking about my Wi-Fi troubles. So then, how are you? It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you here. So then, today, it comes back on, but not only does it come back on, it comes back on with a vengeance. I'm talking, so like when the router was in my office, this is a whole nother story as well as this. So it comes back on. Great, fantastic. My phone's working great. All the Wi-Fi's working great. So before, when it was in my office and it was under my desk, I was getting like 60 to 70 upload and like 25-ish or 60 to 70 download, 20 to 25-ish upload. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's been quite the week of things of me leading not to being able to stream, so I'm happy to be like back and actually here for a little bit. So then if it was out under my desk, I would get like 80 download and I would get like 20 upload. Like nothing crazy. Like those are not super speeds. Like those are not like, wow, my internet's so fast. Those are like enough to where I can do what I need to do. I can still play. It's not really that big of a deal. So the guy on the phone was like, well, just so you know, like the tower's north of you. So this is west and that's north. So he's like, if you have it on a west wall or at a west window, I would suggest, I did almost die. We're going to get to that story time in like a couple minutes. So he's like, if you have it on a west wall, I would suggest you move it to a north wall and in a window, because it's essentially like if the tower was tall enough that you could see it, the line of sight directly through the window is going to help tremendously. I was like, okay. So I move it back there. I had to drill a hole in this closet behind me because it links to our master closet the way that it's set up. So I drilled a hole in both sides, ran Ethernet through it all the way around our bedroom into the modem. I plug it in. I am getting like 250 download and like, I think it's still like 20 upload, which is not anything crazy, but I'm like, the download is crazy. Like 250 down is a lot. Like really good, which is exciting. And on top of that, not only is that happening, my phone is also doing the same thing of having like, let's see, what is it at? I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it's so bright. Come on, focus. Focus on my phone. You got it. You can't see it. Boo. Can you see it now? My phone is at like 200 and however many upload, 224. My download's at like 446. So I am just having these like crazy internet speeds now. I'm like, whatever the frick they did to the tower, they need to keep it because my phone is doing good off Wi-Fi. Oh, that was the other thing. The 5G in our area, like our phones were trash over the last 2 days too. So like it wasn't just like my Wi-Fi went out. It was like our phone stopped working in Dade City. And I was like, well, this is annoying. Apparently my phone is heaven now. I don't know why it's in light mode because my browser's supposed to be in dark mode. There we go. That should help a little bit. There. Now you should actually be able to see it. There we go. Like these crazy numbers, right? Like look at this on my phone. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, not like 17 upload. Like this is ridiculous. So, I don't know what the frick they did to the towers, but I'm in for it. I'm here for it. Let's see what my speed is on my computer. Let's go to a speed test. And let's hit the button. Run speed test. It's climbing. It's going to get over 200. Like I said, the upload's not anything like crazy. Like 13 up is like pretty good. It's not like nothing nuts I'm like freaking out about. But this number right here, holy frick. Like, oh my gosh. It's so much better. It's amazing. Hello, Michael. How are you? I saw you come into the chat. I just didn't actually say hi because I was in the middle of something. It's nice to see you. Right, your upload's always going to be slow. You're never going to get as much up as you do down, ever. In any Wi-Fi. The closest I've come is work, surprisingly. No? Nothing? I'm not complaining. Now that they fixed this thing, it's like not an issue anymore. What I was complaining about was when the 5G tower went down. The closest I've gotten to having the same download and upload is work. My download at work is like 180, and my upload's like 150. I'm like, holy crap. But also, you gotta think like we're all teaching at the same time, so like the internet's gotta be ridiculous to keep up with like what's happening, because not only are there times where teachers are on it, there's also times where like whole grades are on the Wi-Fi as well. Like kids are doing assignments, turning in things on laptops, taking tests, doing math online, doing English online, like the whole shebang. Like it's crazy what all has to happen on our Wi-Fi. So the strain that it has to be able to like hold is crazy. So it's just got to be this like nuts Wi-Fi. I'd be interested to see what it was when there was no one else there, because when I tested it today, there was people there. But like if there was no one, literally no one, I'd be curious as to like how crazy it is. So you mean like the more you're uploading or the more consistently you're uploading? Like if you're uploading a video and it takes an hour, it's going to be fast and consistent? Is that what you're saying? Oh, maybe. I see what you're saying. Because there's so much going on, it's being very consistent. That makes sense. Because it's not like it's off and then all of a sudden it's got to be on. It's just on constantly. Popcorn. Ooh, popcorn sounds good. We don't have any though, which is a bummer. That does sound really good though right now. Alrighty, y'all. We're at 10:18. We're about to get into a story time of how I almost died. Obviously, I didn't actually almost die. I'm just clarifying. But I did get extremely sick though. I got sick. It was bad. Waiting like 2 more minutes. Well, the funny part was like I basically teased everybody in my Discord about it, because I obviously, like, I posted I was going to do this all on Monday because I was going to stream, and then I couldn't stream. So, like, everyone just saw the title, and I had, like, 4 or 5 people be like, how did you almost die? What happened? I'm like, you're going to have to just be here to find out. Junkyard royalty. That's a good one. So, hang on, I want to do one more thing on my phone before I hop into this. Uno más. Once I'm done with this, I'll tell this story. It's 10:21 now. It's not 10:21. 10:20. What's he talking about? Unless you're saying it's 10:20 and then the 1 was just a typo. Okay, so here's what happened. So Tuesday, I stayed home from work because we had something happen with Shiloh. That's not the important part. I'm not really going to talk about anything that's happened with Shiloh. I'm just going to talk about what's happened with me. So I stay home because something happened with Shiloh. And like Tuesday night-ish. Hold on. What's happening? This is like dropped frames really randomly. Anyway, so Tuesday night-ish, I get so obnoxiously cold, like uncontrollably cold. I'm laying on the couch in long pajama pants, a hoodie, socks under a blanket, shivering. I get to the point where I ended up falling asleep on the couch for whatever reason. I don't know, we were watching TV and I just fell asleep. I go to get up because my body warmth was there, I got warm under the blanket. And when I got out, I again went back to like uncontrollable shaking. It's not COVID, I'll tell you that. Not that. Like uncontrollable shaking. Like I'm talking literally like my hands are like shivering. My whole body's doing that though. It's not just my hands. So then I get back into the bedroom. Lindsay like wraps me in a blanket and like hugs me for a second to try and get me to warm up. I lay down. I'm under a fuzzy blanket. I'm under our comforter, still shivering, right? Like I am freezing. And mind you, also through this whole thing, I had some serious lower back aches. Like not pain, but like aches. Like it felt like I went and just deadlifted out of nowhere for like 4 days straight and then stopped. And I was just like, oh, my back. Like that's what it felt like. So then I end up falling asleep. I took Tylenol, trying to just like alleviate the pain and trying to stop shivering. I wake up on Wednesday. I still don't feel great, but I feel like better. Like I can walk around. My back's not hurting like that. Like that's how bad my back was aching. It was to the point where I was like barely walking and I was like, oh, I'm not shivering. I'm like, okay, this is all good. This is all good sign. So I go into work. I take Tylenol. I'm trying to do all the preventative stuff. I'm like, I can't get sick right now. My sister's wedding's on Thursday. We're going to Disney on Friday as a family. I have 1 day to get all these sub plans ready, like everything, the whole shebang. Like there's stuff I had to do at work on Wednesday. So I'm like, I got to go regardless. The drive to work was rough because it's like a 50-minute drive for me. It was rough. Like it hurt. I'm sitting there, I'm in pain. I'm like messing with the lumbar support on my chair, trying to get some relief. I'm just like trying to pass the time. Like it felt like time was going. Thank you, Mio. It felt like time was going at like, oh, it was so slow. It was uncontrollably slow. So we're going and I get to work. I end up getting through everything. I'm doing what I need to do in the morning. I'm feeling better at this point. I had a cup of coffee. I think I was on my second cup of coffee. Yeah, like that. Exactly. So I'm moving. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Sorry, Shiloh just screeched. She's fine. Anyway, so I'm moving a little bit better. Then it comes time. There's this class that I have on Wednesdays where I go outside. And I'm just at a playground with these group of kids. They're supposed to have a certain amount of outside time. So instead of teaching music, I'm just out there making sure everyone's safe, doing what they're supposed to be doing. The whole shebang. I'm in direct sunlight. Mind you, it's 85. I'm in direct sunlight with a hoodie on, shivering. So we're back to like full shivers. Literally sitting there like curled up with my hood on, tucked into my legs, like just shivering uncontrollably. I was like, I have to go get my temperature taken at the nurse. Like, there's no shot. I can't do this. The class ends. I walk into the nurse. I'm just like, I need you to take my temperature. And she looks at me and she's like, yeah, you don't like, you don't look good. And I was like, I don't feel good. So I tell her what's going on about the fact that, like I'm shivering, whatever, yada, yada, yada. She takes my temperature. I had a 102.8 fever. That is crazy. So she's like, goodbye, don't come back. I'm like, sounds good. I'm going to go home. So, yeah. So I go home, I drive home, and basically I just knew I needed to sleep. Like at this point, like my sister's getting married tomorrow. I have to be there. I can't exactly not be there. Yeah, it is high. So I go home. I essentially sleep from 1 to like 6:37-ish. It's almost uninterrupted. Like I would get up and go to the bathroom, and then I'd be awake for like 10 minutes scrolling my phone, and I'd be right back to sleep. So I slept for essentially 6 hours. My fever broke somewhere around like 6-ish, and I woke up, and obviously I'm freezing. Like I'm still shivering. So I'm in like a hoodie, pants, under like a blanket, like the whole shebang. I woke up after my fever broke. My hoodie was drenched. I'm talking like I could have taken it and like twisted it and wrung it out, and it would have dripped onto the floor. Like that's how wet it was. So I'm going through the whole thing. I'm like, get this thing off of me. Like I feel disgusting. My back aches better. In this whole mix of things somewhere, I don't remember when it happened, I ended up getting a sore throat. My throat's feeling better. Like I'm able to actually like kind of swallow some things. I'm like, okay, whatever. So fever broke. Thursday, woke up feeling better. Fever's gone. Not really shivering. My back's doing way better. My throat's like still kind of iffy, but like, whatever. Free shower, lol. So then I start getting these like blisters on my hands and like raspy dots almost. So, mind you, I haven't had 102 fever in years. I can't even tell you the last time I had a 3-digit fever, let alone 102. So I'm like, I have a fever rash because my body's just trying to fight off whatever the frick that was. So, just some blisters like here or there. I go through the whole wedding, feeling okay. Still like hurts to swallow a lot of things, but like feeling all right. I noticed there's some fever rash on my feet. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Still kind of fighting it off. It makes sense. Like hands, bottom of your feet, same kind of skin. Sure. Like I'm getting blisters in those spots. Okay, fine. So then Friday we're going to Disney as a family after the wedding because that's what we did after my wedding. My sister wanted to do the same thing. So we're going. My hands are to the point where they don't like the blisters don't hurt. But they felt like my hands were asleep. So like that pins and needles when you like touch your arm if it's asleep or something like that. Like that's what my hands felt like, but only where the blisters were. Now at this point, I'm starting to get blisters all over my fingers. There's the rash all up on the palm, like on both sides. It's across all my fingers. And it's on not a lot of my feet, but enough that I can feel it when I walk. No, not like ants. Like literally like pins and needles, like when your leg falls asleep and you like touch it and it's like that feeling. Like that's what all my blisters felt like. So